dude, that was sweaty.
Oh, yeah, man. That was a vigorous workout.
I could really go for some food.
Me too. Let's go.
Underneath the bridge, top has sprung a leak, and the animals I've trapped have all become my pets, and I'm living off of grass and the drippings from the sea.
Here we have the steak. It's filled with protein, which is made up of many different amino acids that your body needs to turn into its own proteins. It also has a high amount of lipids, as we can see in these fatty sections towards the outside.
Alright, so we have some potatoes here, which are full of starch, which is alpha glucose. Glycogen is also an alpha glucose. So our bodies can't break down the starch by itself, so we use amylase to break it down, and then we use that glucose for energy throughout our day.
Now it's time to enjoy this amazing steak and potatoes after hard days of intensive labor. You know, I'm all tired, my body needs that energy, and this food has it.
Something in the way. Something in the way. Yeah. Underneath the bridge, top has sprung a leak, and the animals I've trapped have all become.
Here, we start off in the mouth, where two different types of digestion occur. Chemical digestion happens with the amylase in saliva. Mechanical digestion, on the other hand, happens with teeth breaking down our food. From there, it moves down the esophagus, and peristalsis takes place, which is the contraction of smooth muscles, which helps pinch the food down the esophagus.
Alright, so all that delicious food that we just ate has traveled down the esophagus through peristalsis, like we talked about earlier, and now it's going to pass through the cardiac sphincter, which is a muscle that allows the food to go into the stomach, where it is then chemically digested and mechanically digested by stomach acid and contractions in your stomach.
So in the stomach, the lipids, which are made up of fats and dairy products, are broken down through bile. Bile is made in the liver here, and then gets pushed into the gallbladder where it is stored. And then when there's a lot of lipids floating around in the stomach, bile is released, and that breaks down the ester linkages in lipids. So after the food is in the stomach, all the amino acids will be all the proteins will be broken down into small amino acid chains, but they'll still be somewhat connected. And other food particles will still be in small chunks, but almost fully digested. So after that, they will move into the small intestine, where the pancreas and other excretion sites will put enzymes and other chemicals into the small intestine and break down those amino acid chains into single amino acid strands, as well as other carbohydrates and lipids. These molecules will then be absorbed into the bloodstream through cilia in the small intestine, which increases surface area. They're like little, not hair things, little tentacle fingers, I guess you could call them. And those increase the surface area of the small intestine, which facilitates diffusion into the bloodstream.
So once all materials and nutrients have been absorbed in the small intestine, the brown sludge that's remaining gets pushed into the large intestine. Here at the beginning, the appendix can be located, which is a vestigial structure, meaning we don't use it anymore, but it's still kind of connected there at the beginning. So from here, the digested food, the brown sludge at this point, moves all the way through the large intestine.
Alright, so now that all the water has been removed from the brown sludge, it has now been stored in the rectum, where it's waiting to be passed out, poop.